Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is the weekend, so let's do the whole doggone thing. Saturday, the 5th of October, National Do Something Nice Day, which should be every day, really.
Be.
National Get Funky Day. Oh, yeah. National Be Nice Day today as well. Also, what else do we have on here? World Card Making Day, National Bookshop Day, National Kiss a Wrestler Day. Okay. That is all happening on Saturday. The 6th of October is Sunday, National German American Day. So Heidi over here, her maiden name is Braunschweig. You don't get much more German than Heidi Braunschweig.
That's a fact.
And my last name is Small, but they made that up. It was Schmall. It was a German name as well. So there you go. National Noodle Day. You can have noodles?
I like noodles. I could do noodles.
Coach's Day, Badger Day,
don't need no
Zero
stinking
Day.
badgers.
We don't need no stinking badgers. And World Communion Sunday, all of that. And there's a whole lot of other stuff. It's all on the list if you want to see it in the show notes. And I'm going to chat with a stand-up comic, very funny man by the name of Jim Florentine. We'll do that in a bit.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Would you rather have a conversation in person or over text, Heidi? I know the answer.
Text.
Hers would be text. It would not come to a surprise that 7 in 10 millennials and Gen Z prefer communicating digitally than more so than in person.
That's not true. I prefer visiting in person over communicating digitally, but I would rather text than have a phone conversation.
Well, they talked to 4,000 young people. That's not us.
That is not us.
65% said they talk to peers more often through text or cell phone. That is a number that's even higher in English-speaking nations. So the other was like all nations. 74% in English-speaking nations. 62% said they'd rather forget their wallet than their phone. 70% said they sleep within arm's length of their phone. And 66% bring the device with them in the restroom. And the people who, what's the other 66, what's that, 30?
They're dirty, rotten liars.
Are a bunch of liars. Yeah. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that men will do some crazy things to impress a woman? Think like all the elaborate marriage proposals and TikTok challenges. Well, it turns out a woman's voice is what determines how far that man will go.
Really?
A study shows that men seem to have a preference for women with a bubbly, high-registered voice, more so than a deep voice. Personality and individual differences found that men are more willing to be lured into danger for women with a high-pitched voice, but only if she's into that. In other words, men see women, if they seem disinterested in risk-taking behavior, men tend to play it safe.
Okay.
So, there you go. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. The Batman director, Matt Reeves, has revealed that more movie and TV spin-offs are in the works. He's currently working on a DC superhero sequel after releasing his HBO spin-off, The Penguin. He's now teased that there are other plans that have evolved, and the Batman universe is where a lot of this stuff is taking place. So it's all going to kind of come together maybe someday. Would follow Robert Pattinson's Caped Crusader as he becomes a full-fledged hero. So it's like going to make him, show him grow up, apparently. I don't know. And a Friends game show is coming in honor of the 30th anniversary of the sitcom. A 4-part competition series, Fast Friends, will be filmed at the Friends Experience, the one in New York City. It's a 2-story, 1,700 square foot attraction featuring all kinds of nostalgia from the show. So that's kind of cool. And
I
it
like
says,
that name. That's a clever name.
Yeah. So Fast Friends will be a game show. It will stream on Max. No release date in this story. So they might know, but we don't know. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by RadioSavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on RadioSavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at RadioSavings.com. That's RadioSavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A study found that 18% of us say we would rather walk 5 miles than visit the dentist. What do you say, Heidi? I love our
I like
dentist.
a good walk.
Yeah.
But I do like I don't mind going to the dentist, honestly.
Yeah. She's not a fan of the sound of the drills.
It used to be really bad,
Yeah.
but our dentist is actually really good.
So maybe some people would like to walk 5 miles to get to the dentist. Did they ask that question? I think not. And everyone knows that if somebody is choking, the best thing to do for them is to do what, Heidi? Perform
the Heimlich maneuver.
Heimlich maneuver. Well, is it? Since it was introduced in 1974, the Heimlich maneuver, where a first aider places their arms around a choking person from behind and pulls upward and inward on the abdomen in an effort to expel anything lodged in the airway, that has become the recommended method of assistance. But researchers have linked the Heimlich to damage to the ribs and heart valves, as well as stomach and food pipe ruptures. Grace Lawson, a lead EMT trainer with St. John's Ambulance, says that first you should ask if they are choking, just in case.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to just grab somebody and start beating on them.
They say, because it might be like a severe allergy or something that's causing their throat to swell. It could be a different reason for the obstruction, not something that's not choking. Next, ask the patient if they can cough to see if the obstruction could be dislodged that way. If not, you should first try to administer 5 back blows where you smack them in the back. You don't blow on their back, but smack them in the back 5 times, directly between the shoulder blades, using the heel of your hand. This action can be as effective in dislodging obstruction without the possible harm that the Heimlich maneuver can cause. It says, according to the American Red Cross, if that doesn't work, then you should try the Heimlich maneuver.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then
do all of those things in a speedy fashion because you can't go very long without air.
It's important. Heidi has saved a couple of different people with the Heimlich maneuvers. So good job, Heidi. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited for a comedy call right now with Jim Florentine, and we're going to talk about his new album, You Can't Please Them All Here. And we've got you on the line right now. Jim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to chat with you. This is not your first album, but this is your latest album. How many different specials have you done now?
Between like comedy albums and specials, this is my 9th one.
And how do you keep coming up with all this content? That's a lot of jokes, man.
You know, you just, as a comic, you can't keep coming back to places with the same material. It's not unlike a band. They want to hear the same hits. The comic, you got to keep, coming up with new material to, keep your audience coming back to see you. They want to see new stuff. They don't want to hear old stuff. So I love the challenge of doing that. Coming up with new material, filming a comedy special, getting rid of all that material, and starting from scratch with new stuff.
So the album that's out right now, You Can't Please Them All Here, where can we find this if we want to find it? Do we buy like a CD or we buy a digital download? How does that work in your world these days?
Yeah, wherever people stream and listen to music, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever it's out there, you can get it from there.
I love that. And the thing that's nice, I'm going to throw a link to make it easy for folks to find it. And when you're doing this, that quite often will be connected with a tour. So are you out on tour right now as well?
Yeah, I'm always, comics are always like kind of out on tour, and then, because you have to go out there and start working on new material in front of a live audience. When you write it down, you don't know if it's going to work. You think it's going to be great. And then, You do it in front of the audience, they just stare at you, so you just don't know. So
that's not the reaction you were hoping for, is it?
no, but that's what's great about doing comedy. Like, just when you think you have it figured out, you don't. So it's always a challenge.
Now, how different is the comedy world today compared to way back when you first got started? It's probably quite a bit different, isn't it?
Well, comics can just build their own audience through their social media, which is good. Before, when I first started, you had to get on a late night talk show, Letterman or Leno or something like that, and then either HBO or Comedy Central or Showtime was the only place that would give you a comedy special. The times have changed. Now you don't need the late night shows. You can do it on your own, and your audience can come find you, which is great.
And I remember when that first started, there were some comics that kind of got it, and there were some that didn't quite get it, and it took a bit for them to kind of get on board with doing the whole social media thing. How long did it take for you to do that? Were you one of the early adopters, or did you say, I'm going to wait and make sure this works first?
No, I was definitely let me wait. Because it's like, to me, but you, as a comic, you got to promote yourself. But I don't film everything. My life's not on social media. I don't show my audience that follow me on social media, the food I'm about to eat.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing.
I think so too. I think that, there's some people that have gone a little too far that direction where it's like, okay, you can make a decision without, asking your followers, should I wear this shirt or should I wear this shirt? Let me know what you think.
I know.
Like, here's what I think. You
really
should grow
sad.
up is what you should, that's what you should do.
It really is sad, when people do that and, to document their vacation, it's like, who cares? Oh, yeah, I know you took a plane to Aruba. I didn't think you walked there. So, no need to take a picture of the clouds in the sky. I'm on my way. Yeah, good.
And the other thing I think is weird when people do that, they're basically saying, hey, nobody's at my house for 2 weeks, so go rob the place.
Exactly, yeah. Day 3 of our 7-day vacation. Oh, good. So any criminals, all right, we got a couple days. Let's do it Friday because they're not back till Sunday.
There's no rush. So this latest the album that you just put out here, where did you record this? Where does how do you choose where you're going to do an album?
It all depends. I usually do it like a small theater, so it looks like a big, comedy special like on Netflix. This time I decided to do it at a comedy club. There's a club in Long Island, New York called Governor's Comedy Club. It's been there for years. It's one of my favorite clubs. So I knew the audience was going to be great there, so this is where I filmed this one.
And have you filmed in that same location before, or have you done all of your specials in different places?
All my specials in different places I've done, yeah.
And is that because you're not welcome back, or it's because you...
No, it's just a different feel. I go, I've done a couple in Florida, I've done in Connecticut, a couple in Jersey, and I just decided, this one, Long Island, I've done Philadelphia before, so it all depends.
Well, I am excited to see this one, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. I'll throw a link to make it easy for everybody to find. Jim, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, sir.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Again, Jim Florentine, and the comedy special is available right now, and he's got albums and a lot of fun stuff. I'll throw a link to all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
No matter what you've been told, elephants are not afraid of mice.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they were, but
I did
apparently
too.
we're wrong. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
All wrestlers must have a handkerchief handy. What?
Why?
It says this applies to competitive rather than spectacle wrestling. So,
spectacle?
yeah, it's what it says on here, spectacle. So, like, if you go and watch, the Macho Man.
I thought it was spectator.
No, it says spectacle.
Spectacle is okay.
We're going to go with what it says, not what it's probably right. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Golfers must sign their scorecards or they're disqualified. Oh, I didn't know that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you remove your shirt during a foot race, you are also disqualified. Wow.
Okay.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In baseball, if a player attempts to catch a ball with their hat, the batter is awarded third base. This is called a ground rule triple.
I would try to catch everything with my hat.
But then if they do that, then they get to just go right to third base.
So
it's
that's
not a good
bad thing.
Yeah, apparently. apparently. Several fun facts now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 24% of us say we feel guilty if we don't do this every day. I don't feel guilty at all, but you
Make
do
the bed.
this. Yes. How did you know that?
Because I feel guilty if I
Yeah.
don't make the bed.
I don't at all. I pull the blankets up a little bit, and then I give Heidi a little kiss, and I leave the room and go, you can do whatever you want to do over there. You could leave it alone. It wouldn't matter to me at all. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Never thought I'd see the day, but the Tamagotchis are cool again. Gen Z revived the pocket-sized plaything that millennials will fondly remember. In case you don't know this, Tamagotchis, I'm not even if I'm saying it right, they're virtual pets. Am I saying that right? Is that how you say it?
I think so. I don't know.
That's-
It was never a thing for me, so I don't know.
It's a digital device that needs to be cared for by the owner. They were huge in the 90s.
I do remember them a little bit.
And they're coming back now for the younger generation. The Tamagotchi, if I'm saying it right, trend is growing. Some fans are even carrying these keychain knickknacks to in their purses as a fun accessory. $20 toy has now been updated, and it was launched 3 decades ago, but now they're connected with Wi-Fi, and you can download different items on them.
Fun.
And I'm looking to see. The original generation models are available on like social media. You'll see people selling those now.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
okay.
look what I found in my mom's closet. So if you do have one of these, don't forget to feed them and, do all the things you're supposed to do so they don't die. Because that's what it was. It was like a little pet, but it was a digital pet. So, yeah. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Bizarre gardening hacks. A recent survey of gardeners, they found that they spend like 3 hours a week tending to their outdoor space. And there's top 15 gardening tips. Number 15, you can destroy fungus with cinnamon. That's good to know.
Oh.
You can use white vinegar as plant feed. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
You can use potato water to water plants, and that's apparently good. Using fish heads as fertilizer. When I was a kid, I remember doing that when we'd go fishing. Sprinkling cinnamon on the ground to deter cats as well. Singing to your plants. Doesn't say if there's a benefit, but that person just likes to do it, apparently. Using baking soda to make the soil more alkaline. Sprinkling cayenne pepper to ward off pests. Number 7, using ash from the fireplace as fertilizer. 6, throwing used tea bags into the soil. 5, banana peels are fertilizer. 4, talking to my plants. Again,
I
it doesn't
talk to
say.
my plants.
Yeah, she does.
I do.
Growing new fruits and veggies from leftover vegetable seeds. That's good. Using eggshells as fertilizer. And the number 1 thing on here is to use coffee grounds as fertilizer. So all of those things, these bizarre gardening hacks, I have in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com. Quote today comes from Oscar Wilde, who says, "I am not old enough to know everything." I love
Nobody is.
it. Yeah. Not old enough to know everything. So I only know most things. I only know important things. The other things,
My dad
I
used to
don't
tell
know.
me he knows everything.
Yeah,
I
he
would
doesn't
ask him
know.
a question. He'd say, "Well, I know everything."
Yeah, of course he does. He's proven that every Tuesday. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I've always liked Ryan Reynolds, and I like him even more after reading this story. Ryan Reynolds surprises an 8-year-old cancer patient with a superhero visit.
Aww.
Said he brought a moment of magic to this 8-year-old patient, Nash, in Boston, delivering a heartwarming surprise that has touched the hearts of many. The Deadpool Wolverine actor visited Nash at Mass General for Children, as seen in a video that was shared on social media. And the video, I have a link to it. I won't play that on the radio because that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I do have a link to it if you want to see it. Ryan Reynolds, who is 47 years young, oh man, he's doing so much better than we are, and he's younger than us. He entered the room with a bag of goodies, shaking Nash's hand and sharing a special moment over a decorated Deadpool mask. It says here, the actor spoke to Nash about the work he does with Sidekick Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting children with serious illnesses. Reynolds praised Nash for his incredible strength, telling him, "Everything you've gone through, that is a lot for an 8-year-old kid to shoulder. I hope you know that." Adding to the fun, Reynolds even FaceTimed with friends and Wolverine star Hugh Jackman. So while he was sitting there with him, he got him on the horn.
That's pretty cool.
During the visit, he brought an extra layer of excitement for the young fan with that call. Nash's mother, Angie, shared the series of heartwarming photos for the day, calling it a, quote, fairy tale. She revealed that Reynolds has responded to a picture that was sent out of Nash in a custom Deadpool radiation mask. And that's when he said, "Hey, if you'd like, I'd be happy to stop by."
Oh, I love that they didn't even reach out to him. That's so great.
We kept it a surprise for Nash, and she says, "Thank you for this memory, Ryan."
Oh, that's so wonderful.
I've got a link to that story, and you can see the video and all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.